Hello and welcome to Candid Conversations. All you have to do is sit back and relax as we explore the human condition through a series of questions. I'm your host, Yasmeen Ludy, and today I'm joined by Olajide Jegede. So first off, I want to thank you for being here because I know a U of M student, it's hard making time for anything. So thank you for that.
Yes, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, how
Happy
are
to be
you?
here. I've been doing great. Today
Good.
is my 21st birthday, so today's been pretty special for
Yay.
me. I went out and had lunch with my mom and dad, so that was really a nice time. And just today's been really special. Had a lot of birthday wishes. I'm feeling really blessed
Yeah.
today.
Good. So again, happy birthday.
Thank you.
So seems like it's been a great day, but
Yep.
we're about to jump into something a little more serious.
Okay.
Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about fear.
Mhm.
So let's get started.
Sure.
So first question is, what does fear mean to you, a 21-year-old?
Well, I guess for me, it's well, throughout my whole life, actually, fear for me has always been the unknown, for sure. And fear for me has always been like not knowing what comes next, in this life, or even sometimes I think about, what happens, when we pass, what comes next, things like that, that I think about. So for me, fear has always been just not knowing, what's
Yeah.
coming next for me.
So I understand fear for you is, like you said, not knowing, but
Mhm.
where do you think this fear came from? How do you think it, like,
That's the thing. Like I'm not really sure like where it really comes from, but for me, it's kind of just been just something that's manifested over the years. Now I'm getting ready to graduate. December 2020, I'm scheduled to graduate, and then after that, it's figuring out, you know,
the
what comes
future?
next. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm gonna be an adult now. Because
Yeah.
gotta think about jobs. You gotta think about where to live. And supporting yourself.
Yeah.
So things that I think about often now.
And I think that's a natural fear,
Hmm.
what comes next. But do you think that there are times when other people project their fears onto you, or
I think definitely intentionally and sometimes not intentionally. So maybe if they're projecting their fear onto you, it could be something that maybe it could just be like a look, or it could be something that they say, something that they're feeling that moment. It could be something that's nonverbal. And in that case, that could be something that's maybe intentional and also at the same time, like not intentional as well.
yeah,
Hmm.
I know that's hard.
Hmm.
So are there times when your fears push you towards your desire, or push you away from
Yeah,
your
definitely.
desires?
More so now than, in the past. Like, I'd say one of my biggest weaknesses is that sometimes I'm overly cautious about things. So if there's maybe like an opportunity that could be good for me, I might think about the negatives first before I think about the positives, if you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So like how this could help like prepare me for life in general, how so I could prepare me for, getting ready for like jobs and whatnot and
Yeah.
the experience aspect. So I think sometimes that fear of not knowing has now pushed me to try and be more assertive
Yeah.
and try to be more confident in my abilities and to try to, make the most of the opportunities that I have now,
Yeah.
for sure.
So, based on that, can you talk a little bit about a specific time when fear has been a good thing for you?
I would say, actually, I think this is actually a good example. This past summer, I was working at a internship called Workday. Shout out to all the people I worked with at Workday. I was on the financial grants team, and they gave me a project where I was like, no one knew how like this sort of like product worked. It was called the Workday Cloud Platform, and like no one on the team really knew how to navigate it or how to make it really work. It was something that was brand new for their team, and so they gave me the task of trying to just test it and figure out what it does, and also try to utilize it to work on projects that I would be working on and finalizing towards the end of the summer. So in the beginning, there was a fear of that, well, I don't know what this is. I'm not really sure if I can even really do this,
Yeah.
right? But as I kind of went along and I started figuring out how it all worked, everything went by so smoothly. And also because everyone on my team was really open and I could ask them questions at any time.
Yeah.
And they were so helpful. So those sort of aspects, in that sort of environment really helped me, kind of sort of like conquer that sort of fear that I
Yeah.
had.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, like, when has it gotten the best of you?
I'd say this is more so a little personal, but
Yeah.
there are times in my life where, these are multiple times in my life where I'll have these dreams where I'll have like this kind of, it's crazy because it's sort of like how, how some movies there's like a flashback of like a character's life or something and it goes really fast. But it will be like, I remember the last time it happened was like a few months ago, where it'll be like a flashback of like my entire life, right? And then when it gets towards the end of like the dream, right, towards the end of, say, my life, or like my life in general, it would just go blank, right?
Yeah.
And that's sort of coming back to fear of the unknown,
Yeah.
because once you pass, or we don't know what happens, So these types of dreams that I would have occurred like really frequently.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll wake up, I'll get like these cold sweats, like these really
Yeah.
sort of just these bad feelings, like what just happened.
Yeah.
So
Have you tried like looking up your dreams or like trying to figure it out?
like I've tried looking it up, but I've never really gotten like really solid answers
Yeah.
for now. But yeah, these are like sort of dreams that I have kind of often.
It kinda
There's something
just
that I deal with.
shows-
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of just shows that like fear can be inescapable until like we decide to face it head on.
Right.
And sometimes there's no book that can tell you how to deal with it. You kind of just have to dig a little deep within yourself.
Exactly.
So which do you believe is more powerful, fear or love?
I'll definitely say love, because love is one of the only things that can really conquer fear.
Yeah.
Like, definitely. Because, whenever there are times where I'll be fearful of something, whether it was like a test, or whether it was like a game or something that would happen, or whether it was getting ready to go to an internship in a new environment, there will always be like the people that I care about, family and friends, who will be there to support me and say, you can do this,
Yeah.
And who are always in my corner every step of the way throughout my entire life. So I think that's extremely valuable for me.
Yeah. And speaking of love, I know like you want to be around people that care about you and love you, but that also kind of puts us in a position where we feel like, what am I going to do if my loved ones aren't around? Like, how do I sit comfortably with myself? So that brings up the question, do you ever feel fearful of being alone or by yourself?
Sometimes I do.
Yeah.
To be honest, sometimes I do think about that. But I think I've been really thankful that throughout my life there's always been somebody. I've been really blessed to have that.
Yeah.
And it's my hope that throughout my life I continue to make new relationships,
Yeah.
and continue to meet more people who I can have in my corner, and I can be in their corner as well. So I think just continuing to just believe in yourself and to also always try to form new relations and maintain the ones that you have is really important in trying to conquer those type of fears.
Yeah. So I know a lot of people, their fear growing up was like being afraid of the dark or like being afraid of clowns, but like let's talk about it on a deeper level. Is there anything from your childhood that you've been afraid of that you haven't been able to like face? Like, are you still afraid of certain things from your childhood?
And from my childhood,
Yeah, or like just anything growing up, like.
growing up, I think I'd say like losing family members or
Yeah.
friends.
can definitely relate to that. I
for
think
sure.
that's,
And that's still a fear
yeah,
to this day, because I
one of those
remember when I
fears that you
was,
never
yeah, I
grown
remember when I
from.
was younger and I lost a grandma of mine that I really cared about. And I remember when I was younger, I didn't fully understand the concept, like, she's not coming back. You know, and that was, then growing up, that was a lot harder to kind of come to grips with. But once I did, I was just kind of like, okay, you know, she lived a great life, you know, and she was an amazing inspiration for me, my sister, and for all the family. And just keeping her in my memories
Yeah.
has just kind of kept me going, and also just helped me just to remember the good times we had. I think that's really important.
Yeah. Also, I know, like, being a millennial, it's you have so much pressure on
true.
yourself, and I know a lot of people that come from like first generation families or like just families where success is so important and it's drilled into you. So do you ever fear failure, like not succeeding? Like, and does that affect your performance and how you succeed?
No, I used to, and I still do to a certain degree now, but not so much, right? Because my family, as you know, we were talking a little bit before, you know, we were just, you know, we were talking about how my family's already legacy. You know, we have a lot of family who have already been here at the University of Michigan. So now it's kind of just like keeping up, you know, that level of expectation of success. And, you know, there are times where I struggle, and there are times where, you know, maybe like I had the experience of failure, like in a class or something like that. But, you know, at this point, it hasn't really bothered me so much.
Yeah.
You know, because I've had a bunch of failures in my life already, you know, at this point. So it's kind of
It
doesn't
is what
bother me
it
anymore.
is.
So
Yeah.
it's just kind of just keep moving forward.
That's a good message. Thank you so much for this. Well, that's all the time we have for today, you guys. But thank you so much for coming here today, Olajide. Also, on our next episode, we'll be conversing about love. So Olajide will be providing some questions for our next guest. So if you guys have any questions as an audience, you can leave them in the comments or email us at candidconversations@umich.edu. Thank you again for being here, and well, that's a candid conversation. Until the next convo.